Well, the last time I took the old Ford out, I accidentally pulled the bumper off, which that wasn't that big of a deal. It needed a new one anyway. It was just a factory bumper, a stock bumper, nothing special. But anyway, I got the metal this week. You can see it sitting on the table there. It's 7-foot piece of 4x8 tubing, 1/4 inch thick, which is probably overkill, but I'd rather overkill than underkill any day. And I got picked up some 1/2 inch flat stock, which you can see the two pieces right by that glowing light on the floor right there side by side. I've already cut them. They're 18 inches long. That's going to be the brackets to hold the bumper to the frame. But it's going to be a straightforward, simple bumper build, I hope. And just follow along as I go through the different steps of the process. Well, the first thing, of course, I did was I took off the old brackets, which you see under the truck there. That was easy enough because there's no bumper on it, so there wasn't any weight to it. And then you can see right here, there are the factory holes for a bumper. And the one in the very back is for a 1/2 inch bolt, and I'm going to leave it be the way it is. But these other two holes here, I enlarged them to 5/8 inches, and I'm going to run 5/8 inch bolts in them. Now the next thing I have to do is measure the dimensions on those bolt holes so I can translate that to these two 1/2 inch brackets here on the floor that are under me. So I'll get back to you once I get to drilling these holes here. Okay, now we're at the milling machine, and I'm going to drill the holes out. I'm going to start with a center drill. And I'm going to zero out my digital readout. You can't see that in a shot, but I'm going to zero it out so I can follow these dimensions. So I sped up the drilling. I started with I think a number 6 center drill, and I drilled 3 holes. And then I didn't show an intermediate step, which was a 1/4 inch drill bit that I ran in the chuck, and but I went on and did that so that these would drill better or more quickly. And that's a size bigger than a 1/2 inch there, which was actually the wrong size. It needed to be 9/16. But I corrected that later on. And these two holes here are 5/8, and these will be the holes. These will fit the holes I reamed out on the frame. And here underneath these chips lies our holes. So we're done with the Bridgeport for the time being. I've got both brackets cut and the holes drilled. That's what they look like on this side of the frame. I hadn't tightened up that one bolt, as you can see. And then on this side, I went on and cut a 3x3 piece of 3/8 flat stock, drilled two holes in it to act as a big washer to help sandwich the frame and spread the load out evenly. You can see I've done that on both sides. Okay, I've cut out these notches right now with the plasma cutter, so it slips up on this. And then to clear the exhaust and for cosmetics, I've cut a notch out right here. And of course I'm going to come back with some flat stock and fill this in so it's a nice streamlined edge. So here you can see me drawing a line on the metal that we're about to cut out for the end pieces on the bumper. And Evan here is going to actually do the cutting with a Thermodynamics 52 plasma cutter. And here you can see him doing a dry run with some tubing in the background, or in the back, as a straight edge. It's a good idea to do a dry run or two, so you can be sure you can run a smooth line. And here you go, you'll see him.
That was done on purpose.
That's how you cut right there.
So it wouldn't be hot.
So this next cut we're about to make will be the piece that you can see on the end, well, rather the hole you can see on the end. There'll be the piece to cover that up, and take just a couple quick little measurements with tape measure and a dot with a white marker. And it doesn't have to be anything just real precise. This isn't really structural. It's more for looks anyway. And once we get it all welded up, it shouldn't make a difference. So we'll cut this out real quick, and then I'll show you a shot of the welding.
Very good.
So here we are joining 1/8 inch steel to 1/4 inch steel, and the welder is set to 250 inches per second at 18 volts using 30 or 0.030 wire. And we're welding using a weaving motion here, which produces a bead with good aesthetics. So here we are, just about finished. I'd say it's 80% done. It is a functional bumper now. We got these tabs. Well, actually these aren't tabs. These go all the way through the bumper to the frame. You saw those earlier. And we got those welded up. And then, of course, these corners for for the looks and to clear the exhaust. Got those all welded up, and all the welding was done on the Miller 252. Just got that welder, and I am very impressed with it. And let's see. Got my tag on it. Well, the next things I got to do, as you can see, is I'm gonna weld a hitch receiver on the bottom of it, but I'm gonna have to drop it down about to the level of that plug-in right there. And that plug-in looks crooked, but it's just because I haven't put bolts through it yet. And then I want to add some lights to the bumper. And these, hindsight is always 20/20. These tabs I should have made 2 inches longer, and then I could have welded another piece of steel for it for my clevises. But instead, I'm just going to end up cutting them off and then welding another piece of steel. Oh, this 1 inch right here. Gonna go something like that. It's still got a burr on it I gotta knock off, but something like that right there, but flush with the bumper. But yeah, it still needs the lights, the paint, clevis mounts, and one day if I get a 5th tire, I might build a tire rack for it. But as far as deflection, it's really rigid. I picked up this. I hooked that chain oyster on it with that loop right there around the side of the bumper, and picked this tire off the ground over here. And there was no visible deflection, so I wouldn't recommend running into it. So anyway, there's the bumper build. It's very, very simple. I think most people could do that with, fairly modest equipment. An angle grinder and a welder. And a drill press would help for sure. But anyhow, hope this was informative. And click subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And thanks for watching.